On our last day in Durango, we drove, I took the bike out to the town of Mancos. It's not quite as far as Cortez. It is, in fact, right there. Mesa Verde is on the wrong side of the road in this map. I hope nobody's being confused about that. And then the next day, cruise through Cortez, side trip down Kelmo Canyon, bypassed the Four Corners, and went all the way up to the town of Neff. And just missed Monument Valley, which is also partially on the wrong side of the road. Got back in about Red Mesa and rode all the way down to Flagstaff, which is about 330 miles, well, 300 from Mancos. And then, not that this is to scale, went another 300 miles, all in one state, down to Yuma. Before I left, my good friend Alexi let me stay in his tiny house, which you can barely see in the dark here as the sun's going down, over Utah someplace. Inside it was very cozy. It was quite the adventure to stay in there. Nice and warm. I'm looking through the kitchen up towards the bedroom here. In the morning, there was a beautiful view outside all the way to the ridge that is Mesa Verde. Famous home of the Anasazi there, Mesa Verde National Park. Back down into the tiny house, you can see the kitchen and the living room all at once, and another sleeping area off to the side. It was a great adventure. I really enjoyed staying there. Tiny little sleeping area up top. Every inch of space is perfectly utilized, so really super cool thing to do.
Well, good morning from Mancos, Colorado. To spend the night in a tiny house last night. A little late for breakfast because I had to pet the outdoor kitty that comes with the tiny house. It is a brisk 42 degrees out here. I need a couple extra layers, but I'm just heading for town. Mancos is maybe 5 or 10 minutes from Mesa Verde, which is that butte over there. We'll get a better view when we turn for about 1 second. Mesa Verde, giant collection of cliff dwellings. Definitely looks like there were thousands of people there living in stone dwellings on cliffs, and just looks like a bunch of condos. And the people all just disappeared. The people who lived there were called the Anasazi. The Anasazi were largely absorbed into the Navajo when the Navajo came. Story is the commonly accepted meaning of the Anasazi is the ancient enemy. But I was listening to a Navajo on YouTube the other night who said that that's not true. It just meant the people who do things differently. Here's where we're going to breakfast at the Moon Dog. What an enchanting place this is. It's easier to appreciate when you live in a giant modern city with millions of people. We were sitting out here last night, and literally everybody who walked by knew Alexei and his daughter. Everybody. There's Alexei up on his ladder, painting his house in shorts when it's 42 degrees outside. Talked a little bit earlier about Mesa Verde. Now we're heading right for it. You can see up there the giant mesa and the road that goes up from the highway. This 2-lane road we're on here being the highway. Pretty much any direction you leave Durango in, 160 miles to the nearest freeway. Up the old Hogan. But yeah, the big ruins are probably a 30-minute drive from the state road. And the old joke was always, why did those Indians build their homes so far away from the highway? It's a beautiful day. I started out at 38 degrees. It's now 59. Beautiful blue sky out here. It's not uncommon to have visibility in excess of 100 miles. When we top this hill, we'll be able to see all the way into the deserts of Utah. All right. So the mountain in the front of us is a very interesting name. In fact, it has a legendary name. The mountain is called Sleeping Ute. The Ute is the name of the Indian tribe around here. And legend is that one of their warriors just laid down to sleep, turned into the mountain. You can see his arms folded across his chest, and then his hair off to the right. Just a lovely story. When we get a little closer, you'll be able to see that there are 2 rock outcroppings on the very left there, which would be where his feet belong. And they are called, respectively, the left toe and the right toe. I just love that colorful stuff. You can see that there were once more roadside attractions than there are today. There's the toe. Alright. I think I'm rolling now. Anyway, this is deep down in McElmo Canyon. Starting to become a rather popular place to build a nice house. Anyway, yeah, you got some serious money that didn't used to be down here. It's easy to imagine this place being what Durango looked like before there was a Durango. Additionally, it was one of the closest places to Durango where in the springtime you could enjoy a little bit of warmth of the sun and only drive about an hour from home to get there. It's a transition between all this pine and cedar and juniper into the Red Rock Desert. Oh, look, there's McElmo Creek is busy this time of year. Oh, look at that teepee. Teepee with a double wide. I'm gonna say that it's got some street cred. Anyway, I've got 13 miles to ride, and pretty much anywhere along the way there's going to be an option to do... Whoops. Somebody locked them up and went right over. Pretty much lots of opportunities to go straight and fast for hours at a time. Those are the elbows of the sleeping ute up there. So my plan is to do 90 minutes of twisties and windies, and then 90 minutes of straight and fast. And then I just won't get bored of either. Yeah. See, there's a nice mix of Colorado and New Mexico architecture out here. Oh, look at that. Still got the old Johnson on the back. So we're getting a lot closer to Lake Powell. It's about a 200-mile aquatic playground and environmental catastrophe, depending on who you talk to. The Lake Powell was literally the upper half of the Grand Canyon. Nearly as big and beautiful. I think in a lot of spots it's 3,000 feet deep. Actually, no, that can't be true. But it's probably 1,900. The lake level is 3,300 feet. Depending on the year. It goes up and down. It's really and truly for... Ooh, don't know how sharp that curve was going to be. So anyway, it's super deep. But as it's used for water storage in times of drought, the lake level can be hundreds of feet below normal, or certainly below full. Alright, you can start seeing those red rocks peeking out. Let's do our best to try and enjoy as much red rock as we can today. And at least get to Kingman by bedtime. Kingman is on the far west edge of Arizona on the I-40. And it's very much a Route 66 town. If we go there, we'll be sure to stay at an old Route 66 motel. And wake up probably even before the sun. And get on the road and cross the desert before it gets too roasty toasty. that gorgeous? Traffic out here is murder. Oh. That scenery gorgeous? So, little geology lesson. The red layers of rock, I don't know if we can see it from here, but we will at some point, have more narrow strata. The layers are very tightly compacted, and that's when the area was a river bottom. That's what I understand anyway. And the white stuff is sand dunes, and those strata are much thicker. Over here on the right, these parking lots are for Sand Canyon National Monument. Ah, here we are. It's gorgeous, and frankly, I'm gonna have to get off and go up and get a selfie. We used to bring Atlas here, and she was just a little baby, and we would go hiking. And view all the cliff dwellings. Unlike the cliff dwellings at the national monuments, the cliff dwellings here aren't all protected. So it's kind of an honor system. Most people are pretty good at obeying it, but not everybody. Okay, quick break for a selfie. Actually, it's no longer Sand Canyon. It is now Canyon of the Ancients National Monument. Stay on designated trail. Does anybody see the trail here? Actually, the trail is not just marked by horse poop. Generally marked by little rocks. But I don't see any rock cairns from here. I do see a keyhole or a peephole arch up there. I think we're just going to nip up there and then come right back down. So some delightful hiking trails here in Canyon of the Ancients, just due to the variety. You can see from tread marks, a lot of people like this for mountain biking. Guess it wouldn't be too difficult, most of it. It's rather steep. You'll probably hear me breathing because I don't have the lungs I had when I lived here. Okay. Castle Rock Pueblo. Don't look that up. Exactly. I mean, we can see the Castle Rock idea, but Pueblo is not self-evident. Okay, we've made it up to the foot of Castle Rock. Here we are at the very edge of canyon country. And right in between the red and the white layers, if you look on the south-facing slopes in that transition zone, there are many, many cliff dwellings around here. You could walk past a lot of them and not even notice they were there. But once you've seen one or two, you get better at spotting them. Anyway, favorite spot of mine, way back in the day, we put baby Libby in this hole. And got a photo of a lifetime. Ah, that's pretty cool the way the wind blows through there.